Okay, good evening, everybody. It's so nice that you can join us. We would love you to tell us where you're from in the chat this evening. Please, if you have any questions, put them in the chat as we go along, and we'd love to answer. We'd love to know where you're from. Just so we can do a final mic check, I'm going to get Carl to say hello, and then we're going to tell you about our crew.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kyle. Nice to see all of you here. And it's wonderful for us to be again together, trying to make sense of our changing world.
So, yes, welcome, everybody. I'm Lyneth Crighton, and I work at Brescia House School in Johannesburg, South Africa. And we're hoping we have people from all over Africa and maybe all over the world with us tonight. We hope you learn something. If you have a device, a separate device, or you can minimize the team and put us in the corner, we hope you can join along. We also have to say a big thank you to our 3 crew members. So we ran a workshop for people who haven't done live events in teams with the cameras. So we had 3 eager takers from different schools in Johannesburg who are actually manning the broadcast. So
they're a little green, but you know, we're excited to have them because then it means that we don't have to do double duty and run behind the screens again.
So if you see me disappear, then you know. Thank goodness there's been, should I say it, no load shedding. So hopefully everybody's got power at home. And those who started school today, welcome back. Those who, like Carl and I, are waiting endlessly for next Thursday, hang in there. It's only a week to go.
For some of us, fortunately.
Okay, so let's just take you through tonight's agenda. If you can pop it on the screen, Craig. There we go. So we're going to just run over what is decoding generative AI, crafting the ultimate prompt, then conversing with ChatGPT, Copilot, your AI sidekick, transforming ideas into vibrant visuals, bring Image Creator, your visual ally, ideas to video with Picker, navigating AI bias, and then we're going to have a chance for you all to put your cameras on and your microphones and ask any questions, but in the meantime, if you have in the chat. And just so you know, I'm an IT teacher. I teach CAT, and I run all the innovation and staff training at Brescia. Carl was the head of English and is now in his new role, which is this beautiful library that we're sitting in. So all of these things that we're showing you today are things we've done as teachers, and they save us time. Or I don't want to say what Carl does saves him time because he gets lost in image creation, and he's going to show you what he's made. So we're going to start, first of all, with a quick cap of decoding generative AI, just so that we all know, because for some of you, maybe I just spoke Greek. So maybe we could start with a quick question, and maybe with just an emoji. If you have used generative AI, in other words, a tool that will create new content for you, then please, and you really love it, put a heart. If you've used it and you still want to learn more, put a thumbs up, and we could just get an idea of the people we're talking to. So we've got one person who really loves AI, a couple who've tried it.
And if you're completely green and you've never seen it before, then send us a dinosaur.
In the chat, Carl, using a chat emoji, because I don't think there's a react emoji for dinosaur. Not a react one, but in the chat. So yes, so welcome everybody. We hope to keep the conversation going. So just so we all understand that generative AI, which burst onto the field for most of us with ChatGPT, is actually a tool that will create content from existing data. So these are the tools that we use, and we're going to explain how we use them in our school. and what works for us, and a couple of pitfalls and things to look at, but we do most importantly hope you have fun. So generative AI starts with creating the ultimate prompt. And I'm going to hand over to the English teacher, because he is the English teacher, because it really is a language.
So I think that what we need to understand is that you're dealing with a language model necessarily, and part of that means that it's taking its cues from what it understands in terms of the bank of knowledge that it has, as well as the key images or key texts that are loaded. So what we might land up finding is that if you don't cue or prompt the AI correctly, then you're not going to get the specificity or specificity, if that's correct, that you require. So in many ways, yes, they can see it. Perfect. Okay. So it will be more helpful if you can give them specific guidance. And what we land up looking at is incorporating keywords. So if you want it to generate a report, if you want it to write an email, you can specify necessarily the audience that you would like it to write to. So is it just me, or could you swap screens? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, cool. I'm just going to carry on talking, and you guys can listen. So essentially what we're looking at is ultimately you wanting to generate an outcome. So you need to decide what that outcome is, what is the end product, and therefore how are we going to generate that end product. So when it comes to prompting, be as specific as possible. Some people like to say that the best prompt is around 40 to 80 words. It really just depends on what you're looking for. And you'll see that in the later on when we're looking at some images, depending on what your key kind of direction is, you'll start to see that we can have quite simple prompts as well as more complex and complicated prompts. What's really great about like prompting is that you can specify the audience. So that's a really nice key thing. If you want to sort of take that down, you can say like you want to aim it at a group of grade 8 pupils, or you want to, the audience is parents and stakeholders. Do you know what I mean? So you specify your context, which is really, really important. And I think context becomes key. So not only when you're looking at vocabulary that you're using, you're also looking at who is your audience, okay? What is the context in which you're prompting for, and what is necessarily the outcome that you want, okay? So in this quick slide, you see that we've got be specific, iterate and refine. Iterate and refine is really important, but that's sort of what happens once you've started the process. Providing context is really, really important, and then stay clear and focused. So a couple of ways that you can provide context. One of my favorite ways to do it is if I supply a text. So I say, this is the article that I want to use. Please, can you construct a quick quiz, or what is the main idea? Identify necessarily the climax of the story. Potentially do a compare and contrast of characters if you're supplying the information, which is obviously sometimes the best way to go about it. Especially when you're looking at like a language-based AI, such as ChatGPT, a lot of the concept that you're grappling with there is that a lot of that information won't necessarily, it will be accurate, but it won't be referenced accurately. And obviously we'll then kind of be telling you a little bit more about which sort of platforms we prefer to use because of that concept. So providing context becomes really important. And then when we say stay clear and focused, it's the refinement refining of it, the iterate and the refine and the stay clear and focus works hand in hand. So what you might find is that it hasn't generated something that you feel is serving the purpose. So then go back to the original prompt, and then you can kind of change the prompt, or alternatively, if you're asking it to construct an essay question or something to that nature, you can then specify how many words you want it in, the type of style, so register, formal academic style, colloquial style, those sorts of things, and it will kind of start giving you options. And as you start seeing more options, you can refine it more and more. Did that make sense? Is there anything that anybody wants to ask with regards to kind of like a specific prompt or question?
Just switch your mic off. So for anybody who's confused or thinks we've just spoken a whole lot of Greek, or like somebody here said, they've just been to an AP Maths lesson, we are going to show you lots of examples. So we just wanted to explain the importance of a prompt. And if we go back to this slide, just imagine you're talking to a friend who's very smart and they can help you. But at the end of the day, you are the expert. You are the person who knows everything, and therefore will be the ultimate guide to this new AI tool. So, sorry, I'm just going to speed through them.
I think just quickly go back to that last slide, Lyneth. So I know that we had this one on. I think this is really a really good one to kind of take note of, in terms of ask the tool to take a role. So what would you like it to do? Would you like it to create for you? Would you like it to write a report, generate whatever it's doing in terms of whatever the role that you need it to do? So is it assisting you in something? Is it designing something? The objective in terms of what the outcome is, the audience specificity is really good, and then boundaries, set the limitations and the direction. I did turn my mic on, so yeah.
So please, if we get feedback from the two mics on, we're trying to switch them off, but I suddenly thought maybe you didn't remember. So yeah, if you just let us know. I don't know about the interruptions
with the
notifications. We're hoping that we've turned them off.
Can you still hear any notifications coming through from chats? Cool. We're going to proceed then. Fine on my side. Great. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to just start in ChatGPT. For those who've already, that might be the tool that they have already played with. And we're just going to try a few prompt starters. So we're going to create an outline. I'm just going to tell you them all because then we're going to switch to Carl's computer. We're going to create a list of ideas, summarize, or design a lesson. So basically, as you can see what Carl was talking about, you have to be very specific. These are very broad. They don't give you who you're targeting, what to act as, and much detail. So therefore, you're going to find the answers quite vague, not as detailed as you want. But it is a conversation. And the more you have the conversation with the AI tool, it learns from what you're telling it. It likes when you give it feedback of the responses you like. Yeah. So Carl, have you got ChatGPT open?
Right. Are you talking about on my browser?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Let me just flip to my browser. Don't know why it's not. Don't know what it's doing. Sorry. There we go. Okay.
So, and Craig is going to make, so Carl's laptop hopefully appear for you. Okay, this is ChatGPT. You do have to have a login. You can use your Gmail login. ChatGPT does store your chats, previous chats down the side.
Careful, that could be incriminating.
I was just about to say, but you did tell me to go to the library monitor one.
Yeah.
We do rehearse these things. Okay, so Carl's going to tell you, but if you go right back to the top, so this is the whole long conversation which he created with ChatGPT, because as his new role in the library, he was introducing library monitors, and you're going to be introduced to the library store plenty through tonight. But he'll just show you by going through what.
So I'm definitely going to be giving away a lot of my secrets here, because these posts have been coming through like thick and fast when it comes to dealing with teams here at Brescia. But I have, because obviously the immediacy of what we need to do sometimes, my quickest go-to is ChatGPT, or what we're going to introduce you to a little later is Copilot. So I just simply asked it. I went straight in. I started a new chat, and I said, please write me a quick promotional message to recruit library monitors from grade 9 to 11 to assist in the school resource center. And this is what it came up with. It said, calling all bookworms and aspiring leaders from grades 9 to 11, want to be a vital part of our school's learning hub, become a library monitor and help foster a love for reading and knowledge sharing in our resource center, gain valuable skills, make a positive impact, and join a community dedicated to promoting literacy and learning. Apply now to be part of something truly special. So I then I like that idea. Specifically, what we've got a special name that we've given them. So in later messages, I asked it to substitute the word library monitor for what we call our library monitors, which are the resource rangers. And so slowly but surely it started to kind of learn that. So then I said a quick description of the perfect candidate, because I felt, so if I'm recruiting and people are really keen, maybe they want to go, okay, well, what are we actually going to be doing? So I asked it to generate one of these, and it said the perfect candidate for the library monitor role would be responsible and enthusiastic student with a passion for books and learning. They should demonstrate excellent organizational skills and attention to detail. So what I was able to create in quick seconds was this idea of that I could post on Teams with a quick kind of recruitment, and then I gave it a subtext, and I said that like what we're looking for, if this is you, then please do sign up. And then we started looking at, we were having a little bit of debate, so you can see the conversation kind of takes a different slant here. We were having a bit of debate as to what we would call them. And so I said, okay, what's a cool name for a library monitor? And I came up with a book guardian. And then there were more options. So what we actually ended up settling on was, apart from the page protector, literary sentinel, we settled on the idea of a ranger, okay? And then because we have a resource center, we decided that there would be St. Ursula's resource rangers, because that's what our resource center is called.
So like most of us, we started in ChatGPT. For those people who don't know, Brescia House School is a Microsoft Showcase school, and we have a large number of our teachers who are Microsoft Innovative Educators and who have done their Microsoft Certified exam. So we are always looking at the resources that Microsoft put out, and some of these are quite new. Some have been around a couple of months. So towards the beginning of the year, they released Copilot, and I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to tell you why we prefer it to ChatGPT. If Craig switches,
or I can just pull it up.
Laptops, no, to go back to the slide. So Copilot is Microsoft's AI generating tool. It does a whole lot of things that we're going to, I'm going to show you a little taste of some of the things.
And when we say it does a whole lot of things, it's quite interesting. It's very involved.
And it has a number of features. One being that there's more than one place to find it. So it is built into Windows 11. It is also built into Windows Edge. And you can have the app on your phone. And I'm going to show you the different results and where it comes from. One of the biggest benefits of it is all the searches are not linked to your account. If you have a school or work account, so we have school accounts, it doesn't actually save your chat, which sometimes can be a bit irritating if like Carl can't go back and show you. But the idea being that your data is private, so it doesn't link the searches, it doesn't use what you give it. to train further AI. Nobody else can view it, and nothing is saved. And the idea being that they're moving towards currently students over the age of 18, and in the next couple of months, they'll drop that age as they make sure that they are it's a safe place for them to be in. To I think it's 13.
Yeah.
But so those are the bonuses. So those people that are worried, who say, oh, but you shouldn't use ChatGPT to help you make a comment for a report because it's storing that data about that person's name. Bing's Copilot does not do that. So as we were talking about earlier, that the best kinds of prompts are detailed prompts. These are all things that we have tried. We're going to try them, and I will, if in a second when we go to Copilot.
Do you want me to keep my?
Well, you can.
I can keep Copilot open.
Okay. Can you
got it already.
Paste the?
Do you want me to use the designer or the education one?
The education one.
Okay, cool.
So the first thing I just want to show in Bing is right at the top.
1 second, I'm just logging in. My education one was logged in, but it does log out.
Okay. To change from creative to precise mode. Carl, I'm not sure where you are.
Oh, it's doing it now. There we go.
Okay, so it looks like ChatGPT. At the top right, you can see it. Sorry, I'm pointing at a screen. Teacher, sorry. Point at the screen so that everybody can see. Okay, it has the green protected button. There is a whole lot of activities, and just like ChatGPT, you type the into the ask me anything. So help me create a rubric to access English, grade 7 English speech, Carl.
Yeah. Do you want me to do?
So
okay.
You tap there. So remembering that the more specific you are, the more you train it in the conversation, remembering that it doesn't save. So in this conversation, the more accurate your responses are going to be. But it is a dialogue. So you can say, yes, I like something. No, I don't. And it will change based on your feedback. And the more you have the conversation with it, and as one video I watched says, punctuation does matter. Spelling, not so much. It will guess.
Yeah, it will guess.
Sometimes not to the right way that it will guess.
Helping to create a rubric to assess grade 7. So we can also prompt it. So in terms of being quite specific, so we could say that we want it out of, let's say, 30 marks. And we would like the split to be content, delivery, and language use. Language use and skills, I suppose. Let's see. Cool.
Yes, very polite, please and thank you. Just so you know, we don't know who and where this is not safe, but in ChatGPT, who knows whether what you've said is ever going to show up somewhere.
So yes, generally, I would say like please create and that. But also, what I tend to do is I tend to engage in conversation once it's generated. So I'm like, I really like that aspect. Please, could you focus on this? Move that around. So let's have a quick look. So something that I just wanted to touch on. Lyneth was speaking about the fact that when we're in protected mode, it won't save any of this information for you. Okay. So what you need to make sure that you're doing is you're using the download, necessarily the download button, which would export it into Word. You can export it as a PDF or just plain text, or you can highlight, not a problem. I think we've just run out of power on one of our devices. what we can then do is you can transpose it into a Word document and save the information. So there's two things here that are one, it can be, so if you're running a personal account with Microsoft, so not your work account or not an educator's account, it will retain your information. It keeps your data. So as you could see, when I first opened up, it was on my personal page. I'd actually opened up both of them, but the education page will sign out because of the fact that it's trying to protect you. So it doesn't always stay signed in. It requires you to sign in each time. And when I say it requires you to sign in each time, it records, it's got your recognition. You just have to click sign in and it pulls through your sign in. And then, so what you can see here is that I would have a history in my personal accounts, and it will keep the information, my most recent things. But whereas in this account, which is my education account, okay, so if you've got a Microsoft 365 account, or necessarily you work at a school that is a Microsoft school and you use Outlook, then you would be able to have an educator's account with Copilot. And once you log in, I mean, once you've set it up, if you don't save this, so necessarily download it, open it up as a document, export it, or ultimately copy and paste it into a document, you won't have access to this again. And the reason for that, so that's the annoying part, but the reason for that is it means that any of your ideas that you generate in Copilot, anything that is yours, that you're playing around with, that you wanted to give you some sort of feedback on, or anything like that, it exists solely in this little space here. And when you close that, it's gone, which means that nobody has access to your ideas. Nobody has access to the information, the content, the discussion that you're generating. All of it is really safe in that regard. So when you're creating content as a creative, it's really good. But it's also the idea of that none of this exists past this space. So it's for your own privacy and protection, which I think is great. So this rubric that it gave us here, it said, certainly, here's your rubric for assessing grade 7 promotional speech about a book. You can allocate a total of 30 marks across 3 categories: content, delivery, language use, and skills. Okay, so then it will break it up for you. You can even ask it to necessarily grid line it for you. So you can ask it to tabulate it, and it will do that for you as well. Sometimes it has a couple of issues with, kind of arriving at the desired outcome, but once you've played around with it a little bit, it definitely works. Otherwise, a quick way to do it that I find is if I download the document, I set up the grid and tables in Word, and then I just copy and paste the information in as I need it, and I generate my rubric that way.
So, Craig, if you just make us disappear for a minute. Sorry, I had to batteries ran out of the mic. So I'm going to, in the bottom right-hand corner where there's an attached and a microphone, you can, of course, talk to it and it can talk back, and you can attach something. So if we just switch back, sorry, Craig, lots of switching today, to my computer. So we have used this, my favorite one is write an email to a parent, requesting them to see them at parents' evenings. We just had ours. Some people are getting theirs. Tell them the date and time, and it writes a wonderful email that you can put your name and the date and the child's name in and send to the parents. So these I did on my phone this morning, so on the Copilot app. So the first one was I uploaded a picture, that picture I have for my classroom, and I want to paint the walls. So I asked it, can you give me a color swatch that goes with this picture? So then it told me what colors I could use, which would be bold, which would be quiet in a classroom. Then the second one, if you upload a picture, so I uploaded the picture of roast chicken, and I say, can you give me the recipe for it? It then produced the recipe knowing that it was a juicy roast chicken from the image. And the last one I know is the favorite of everybody. So that came on our WhatsApp group for our suburb. It is a whole page document from Jobo Water, basically telling you that they were going to switch off the water. I upload the PDF to Copilot and I said, please explain it to me in one sentence. And then it told me what the PDF was in one sentence. You can ask it to do a whole 30-page document. You can ask it to break it down into 10 bullet points. You can ask it, and then if it gives it to you and you like bullet point 6, you can say, please expand that point. No more long reading. Of course, we all know the tricks of write an essay too. I find that you do need to fact check it. We are going to maybe talk a little bit later about, we've actually done a task with our grade 9s where we looked for bias. So we forced it to be biased. So we're now going to move on to navigating bias. So for those people who don't know, generative AI is trained with data, the data that exists in the world. And where Microsoft Copilot doesn't retain your data and use it to train its data, the other, like ChatGPT, does use the data that you give it to learn from it, the model to learn and to give better responses. So there is inherent bias in AI. Some is obvious and some not so obvious. So your prompts, and it goes back to being very specific in your prompts. So I read an article where you cannot make AI draw a banana. So Carl's going to tell you how to make AI generate images in a minute. But this was a photorealistic image of a banana on the left. And the second image was a bunch of bananas. And as you can see, a couple of them not too bad. I did get 2 single bananas, but when I asked for 5 bananas, it had no clue. It can't count. If you look, I've got 4, I've got a whole lot, because the images of bananas it has doesn't tell it how many bananas are in that image. So when you ask it to create a banana image, it doesn't get what you're trying to create. It was even more fun when I asked it to draw a realistic image, create a realistic image of grapes. Do you see one single grape in any of those images? Because the second prompt specifically says an image of a single grape. Please notice they are all red grapes. I never said anything about red grapes. I don't drink red wine. I prefer mine pink. But in order to get white grapes, I had to ask it to draw me a realistic image of a white grape. Still didn't get a white grape. The funny story was I showed Carl, and Carl put the same prompts and he got red grapes, because it's obviously identifies with the fact that
so
grapes
key image,
should be red. I don't know why, because I don't like red wine. But then Carl says, I know, I will ask you to put a bunch of grapes with a leaf.
No, I said a single grape
With
as opposed to a grape. I said a single grape with a leaf. Yeah.
a bunch of white grapes with a leaf. So obviously, according to AI, white grapes come with leaves and red grapes don't. So now you understand that when you're creating an image or when you're creating a prompt, that the vaguer you are, the results are sometimes weird. Some of those don't even look like grapes. And equally, that you have to be specific because it's going through the data it has to create what you've asked for. So now Carl is going to delve into the world of where and how we got those visuals that we use in our presentations. And hopefully you'll have a chance to have a bash. And just before that, yes, so we do Digital Citizenship Week for the first week of every February, coincides with Internet Safer Day throughout our whole school from grade R to matric. And this year our theme was AI. And one of the topics we addressed in the high school was the inherent AI bias, and therefore how, as we're a girls' school, we can work to overcome those biases eventually by giving it better data to work with, but also that we have to be on the alert for bias.
So with that concept of looking at and being aware of bias and things like that, you'll see it manifest itself in the strangest ways. So it's quite funny in that regard. But when it comes to image creation, I'm going to do it in a second. So when it comes to image creation, I tend to use Copilot quite a lot. And the reason why I use Copilot is because obviously it draws its inspiration through Bing, or necessarily that's it's kind of like what home base, I guess. And Bing will use pictures, will generate images through DALL-E, which is a image generator, word text to image generator, and it will also use quite a few others as well. There's quite a few out there at the moment. I tend to find that Copilot is the most broad spectrum, but not necessarily the best in terms of the specificity if you're working in design and things like that. So there's quite a few. Claude does some really good stuff as well. Midjourney's really good, but you've got to have a Discord account as well. And so just in terms of grappling with these different things, just know that they're out there, and that as you get more comfortable with the different ones that are available to you or your preferred tool, you can also then start looking at what else can be used as well. So,
but I just have to warn, it is a rabbit hole, because Kyle
Yes.
went down it. Because once you learn that you can ask it to create things that in your mind
exist,
and it doesn't take it takes 5,000 prompts, not 5,000 Google searches, and you can often get to very close of what you want. Cynthia, and I don't think Kyle and I have ever used a Google image or a standard clip art image. We create our own.
So as you can see, ideas to image. So these are some of the ones that we've played around with, which have been quite entertaining. And what I thought was quite funny was how like bizarre you can kind of take it. So some of the prompts that we gave it were like a burly merman wearing dungarees, dreaming of ponies and dinosaurs and vector style. So the concept here of vector style is where we start to move into that idea of being specific and giving it context. So like you want vector style, which would mean flat 2D animation. You want to say cartoon. You want to say things like photorealistic. You want to say things like 3D rendered. Those are, you have questions. We're about to take some questions in a second. Just give us a second. So I've got a wonderful panel sitting in front of me laughing at my choices here. But
he also said we. Please, there was no we involved when it comes to dinosaurs.
Okay, so then I got a burly merman sitting in a fishbowl dreaming of ponies and dinosaurs, because I really wanted to see how bizarre it could get, you know, and what was it going to be able to generate with. And you'll actually start to see that there are quite a few like the prompts get more detailed and what kind of lands up. Then I did an anthropomorphic T-Rex sleeping in a bed with his tail hanging over the edge. And as you can see, it gave, so in this context, I prompted it a couple of different times and it gave me different animation style. I think for me, the key area was that the T-Rex, and I didn't ask it to do this, was cradling a bunch of green peppers. So that I found to be really specific and pretty entertaining. So okay, so here is so obviously with the idea of moving into my new role, I was generating concepts about this idea of being a librasaur, and I really wanted to kind of merge the concept of something that I had in my head, but also something that was very much part of kind of how I used to set up my classroom. And I guess at the end of the day, if you know, in my opinion, all great teachers are children at heart, and I think that that's how we learn and play and we make things really interesting. So it was a burly, or in brackets, stocky, nerdy guy with short beard, brown hair. Can you see how I started being quite specific? In black dungarees and a green shirt with a utility belt of books, reading in a library, leaning back against a stegosaurus dinosaur friend who is green with spots and dark red plates. And as you can see, you eventually start to get there, with a bookshelf in the background, vector illustration style with variations in sitting positions, and the guy smiling with softer features. So as you can see, when it starts to, I think, is having too much fun. I'm definitely having a lot of fun.
Listen, I ended up wearing dungarees. So just so you know, our wonderful alter egos are on the poster, but they were AI generated. And we had hours of fun.
We did.
Trying to create the two of us in AI together.
So what this is you can see kind of where I've added things to the prompt, and I'm actually going to show you a little bit later of what the prompt that I started with and where it kind of went. But the idea of, so I got some really hardened features. I got some really interesting, obviously, because there's a lot of stereotypes, so we've got that inherent bias. So somebody that's necessarily burly and stocky also comes with a very mean face and lots of tattoos. So those were the sorts of things that we started getting. So then I would get, like, when I say I was doing it. Lyneth was standing around in the background, and I would go, look what I made. So style variations, a sitting position, guy smiling with softer features. So that was kind of what we were looking at as well. Great images created from Copilot designs in comparison to Canva as well. Canva's really great, and it's a really great tool for kids to use when they're playing with Canva. And Canva's on our list of upcoming stuff.
And we're going to show you something at the end. Sorry, in the chat, Wilhelmina did have a question. Can you type it in, or can you just wait about 8 minutes and then?
Yeah, I'm asking for a register. What do you mean in terms of the register?
So if you could just explain, or we'll wait to the Q&A.
And I think when they were asking that they have questions, I think they were meaning that they have questions about me.
Yeah, well.
There's not much to question, guys.
I'm going to speed you up so that they know they have more questions to ask.
Okay, so I think that, okay, wait, no, where did you take it back now? Sorry, you're just making me lose my space. Okay, so then I started really playing around with the concept here, and we were playing with the fishbowl so that you could see. So then I started merging the two ideas together and seeing what it came out with. And this is actually a lot of fun to do with your kids in class. They can kind of make self-images, things like that, how they picture themselves. It's been a really fun tool to just sort of play around with. Obviously, we've got plushies, we've got stegosauruses, we've got mermaids, fun stuff. Okay, so this is when it starts getting interesting. So these I did today, and I said the dinosaur floating in space among the stars and planets, and it added with a whimsical touch. So when it generated the prompt, I just said I want a dinosaur floating in space. Okay, and I think I said amongst the stars. Then it generated this prompt, and this is what it gave me. And as you can see, with the prompt design, the images were beautiful, just in terms of the whimsical nature of them. I thought they were really, really great. So then I had a sort of a little bit more of an image kind of, yeah. I had a little bit more of an image generating in terms of an idea of where we wanted to go. And I said, can you add the little boy flying with a dinosaur through the stars to a planet made out of books? Okay, so then it told me that it's added it. So we have this wonderful conversation. And these are the images that I got, which I think are really, really fantastic. I think that they would be great for any cover of children's book cover. And yeah, these are the sort of, so you can see that the dinosaur floating in space among the stars and planets with a whimsical touch, and then a little boy flying with dinosaur through the stars and a planet made out of books. Specifically, obviously giving it quite a lot of context, okay, because I'm dealing within the library space. So that's obviously why I want the books and I want the ideas and I want these kind of fantastical constructs. I mean, our library services the whole school. So on a daily basis, I've got kids coming in from RR all the way through to grade 12, and I'm interacting with them in different for different lengths of time. Some of my lessons, like with my seniors, can be 45 minutes to an hour. With my juniors, they're on a 30-minute rotation. So yeah, it's really been a great tool to have to generate lots of interesting content for the littlies especially. So I'm just going to go to the next one. Okay, so kind of this is where it starts getting fun. So what we started playing with here were prompts for you. So this is something that we can do, and we'll send the link. Okay, there it is there for you. If you double click on that link, it will take you through to a page which is this is on the personal side of Copilot. It's called Designer. That you don't need boosts, which is really, really great, which means you can generate as many images as you want. Go wild. I promise you, you'll have so much fun. And we did claymation style. So if you click on this, what it's going to do is the square bracket concept that we were working with, it's going to show you, it's going to frame that for you. So you can then add in what you would like. So claymation style girl with a smile on the front, wearing a chambray button down over a striped shirt with the name Emily, dark blue eyes and long blonde hair. I changed it up a little bit and I generated, I think I made it a boy, but I kept the hair long. Yeah, and I think I added the dungarees.
You called him Noah.
Oh, and I called him Noah, yes. So
you can just edit the words that are in gray,
or you can
say edit the entire prompt, and you can use the same prompt in Bing normal Copilot or Bing Create.
Yeah,
they're all in this. They actually all work on Microsoft's Designer Image Creator.
Yeah. And I think the best part about it is that we, you know, I saw that someone saying that they really struggle with Pix and now they know how to do it, is that the more you play, the better you get at it. And that's something like in terms of the photorealistic, the 3D rendering, all those sorts of things, this terminology becomes really important, especially when we start moving from our text to video construct.
So Microsoft Designer is still on your personal Microsoft account. Bing Create, you can use your school or work account or a personal account. The personal account saves your images. The Bing, if you log in with a school account, it doesn't save, but you get the images and you can download them. No, I'm answering the question.
No.
Carl, I don't want them to miss pickers. So
yes, okay. So these are our Funko Pops that we did. Okay, if you get this link, send it straight through. I've got a friend out in the audience there. I got a shout out to Lebogang, our Miss S, who is our biologist. Can you give us a little thumbs up or send us a little cactus plant? And that is her Funko Pop over there. We did it today with her. And this is us. Us to a certain degree. Obviously, you can edit the whole prompt, which I thought was really great. And there's Lebo over there. And yeah, this has been really, really fun. And what we decided is that our three head girls were busy having a meeting in the library when Lyneth and I were playing around with this, and they were quite taken with it. And they asked us if we could generate Funko Pop images for them. So when they send out their notifications and things like that, that it comes from each of their little specific Funko Pops. So, you know, it's just that kind of whimsical gimmick that they really, really like. Okay, we're gonna push through to the next section. It's still me, hey? Yeah, we are running out of time. Okay, so ideas to video with Pika. Now this is something
I just need to apologize up front. If in Teams, the only way to share the system sound is giving that black screen, so you're not going to be able to hear his wonderful sounds on his
oh, that's okay.
If it will.
Yeah.
Oh, so we'll just share them.
So the first one doesn't actually have a sound. The second one does. So I'm just gonna show you that essentially the first image that I created. This is literally the prompt that I typed in. Zoomed in dolly tracking shot of fish moving in and out of an anemone. Okay, and that was the image that I got. Let me just click play again. Okay. Which for a 0.4 seconds of little GIF, I think is really, really great. It's one way to spice up your slides, especially if you're looking for different content. You'll see what's on the explore side of it in a second when I take you there. And then this was Lyneth today. She found she thought it was quite entertaining. So we went a panning shot of the sun setting over an African savanna and a silhouetted rhino. So you can hear the sound from my microphone probably, but yes, we did the quintessential sound that we added. We actually wanted the fish eagle, but the fish eagle sounded more like a squawk, so we decided to go with some African drums. Okay, it's just going to play that one again. Right, so this is Pika. Okay, it is pika.art. so you guys can have a quick look there. I think if you've got a Discord account, which a lot of you might have, it will automatically log you in. It's kind of an affiliated application, which is really great. We've spoke about bias as well in videos and that. So obviously being as specific as possible is great. This is what the Pika platform looks like, but I'm actually going to take you through to, let me just click onto my page. Okay, right. So this is what Pika looks like once you've logged in. Okay, this is the explore section, and you can see that there's quite a lot of images. And every time you tap onto one of the images, it should technically start animating it, kind of like it will move through. Okay, I think that's the lily frog on the lily pad. And you can see there's a whole host of different videos that people have created. A lot of the people that have created these videos have premium accounts, which means that they're longer. Some of them are shorter. Otherwise, they're just kind of GIF length necessarily. So like the bacon, there we go, it's moving. The bacon sizzling in the pan. We've got the frog, the frog jumping from a lily pad. Okay. And that's in the explore function. If you go to my library, which is the videos that I've generated, you'll start to see. So I started with this one, which I thought was really great. So it was a zoomed in shot of an African princess combing her hair while looking in the mirror. Okay, which I really, really liked. I thought what it generated was super great. Then I did the zoomed in shot of an African princess combing her hair while looking in the mirror. This was the second one. My best one about this was that the princess in the foreground is combing her hair while looking in the mirror, but she doesn't have a ponytail. So I thought it was really interesting, kind of like the sort of specificity that you need. And then I changed it up a little bit and asked her to be smiling. Yeah, and I thought it was really great in terms of being able to render text just like that. So there's something that I want you guys to do.
So Carl, while you open that.
Yeah.
So we're sorry. Yes, it's raining here in Joburg. We're very happy for in Bryanston for the rain. So we're trying to talk loudly to be heard over the rain. Pika is free.
Pika is free for sure. Yes, it is. Which is really, really great. There's a couple of free. What we'll do is maybe we can send out once you guys have connected with us, I don't know why my is opening. Once you've necessarily connected with us online, we can also generate like different free AI that we're working with at the moment. So this is my with all things whimsical. I decided I wanted a long shot dolly tracking of a unicorn stomping his hoof and shaking his mane. Okay, and this was my unicorn. And I suppose I can actually go into full screen mode so that you can actually see it. And then what I would really like you guys to do is to play around. For those of you who've managed to log on to Pika, I know we're moving at a mile a minute. This would be the square bracket concept. So what shot? So you want a long shot, okay, or long shot dolly tracking, close up, pan, whatever, of an animal. Choose your specific animal. Action, its body parts. So what you want it shaking. Then the action, its body parts. So do you want to shake its tail and mane? And then what your landscape and setting is. If you are able to log in and do this, it would be really great if you could download it and just pop the link or pop the video into our chat. It would be really wonderful if we could see some of the different videos that you guys have generated.
So just before we open the, if you can switch to mine, it's not going to have the sound, I don't think. I'm just going to play you a video. Our echo with Bronwyn says, we want to share, we want to connect with you. We do want, I run a website called Learning Curve IT for South African teachers to connect together. There is a section we can have discussion groups, share ideas, share tools, get together. We are going to be running at the beginning of May, and I will put it out after this. So this is what we did with our grade 9s last year. It is in AI generated using Canva. The grade 9s had to use ChatGPT instead of the old history project They were given a topic in a group of 3 or 4. It had to show bias. It was supposed to be a newsreel, either American or Russian or somebody in Europe who was in the war. So they had to know their history to know that it was biased. And then they created a news article in Canva with a DDI talking person. So they wrote the script with the help of ChatGPT. It was only allowed to be 1 minute. They had to integrate images. This was about the landing on the moon. The ticker tape had to have the correct historical evidence, and that formed the history project in September, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
So, and they all did it, and we have these. So in May, we'll run a workshop that if you want to actually do something, we've done this with our children. I think children of all ages, certainly in Canva, can do these because we actually DDI is a plugin and it's free. Canva is free. If you don't know how to get it free as a teacher,
Chat to us.
Craig, can we, while we shout out to you, can you switch the ability to put mics on and videos? This is a thing that when Together Mode came in COVID, actually it was our grade 3 little girls who worked out Together Mode was there long before any teachers, because they switched on Together Mode and took photos of everybody. If you could put on your cameras, we could see you and you could say, and if you've got any questions.
Turn your video off there.
No, it's not. It's not me. He's put us on presenter mode. That's going over. It's Together Mode. That's why.
Yes.
So if everybody.
What was the animal? Sorry, there's a question there. What was the animal prompt? We were supposed to be putting into Pika. Oh, I can take you back, Craig, if you wouldn't mind just popping on my screen. Okay, there it is. So it was the shot necessarily of whatever animal you wanted, the action. So mine was long shot dolly tracking of a unicorn stomping his hoof and shaking his mane. So shot of the animal, action, its body parts, and action, and then landscape setting. I think we're going to...
Craig's going to paste it. It's got to go around a text file to get there.
Just pasting it into the chat.
It's in the bottom of that text file. So the one we opened just now.
The shot of the...
It's the bottom one. So is there any more questions? We have like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, I can't access the chat.
No, you can't. We're not in the meeting. There's that text file on the desktop that...
Yeah, so
it's the bottom one now. If you close and open the text file, I don't know if it'll...
It won't.
It won't.
No, it won't.
You close and open you. It will, because if it's on my desktop. That's my desktop. He'll post it. How do you get Canva for free? So you submit a letter to Canva that proves that you are a teacher with a letterhead. Thank you, Bronwyn. From your school that says you're a teacher, and what email address. So mine is even on my personal Gmail account, because that's what I had for Canva. As a school, you can register your school, and then anybody who uses the domain email will automatically get that. Also, so I then have a class, and all my children then belong to my class so that they get free educational Canva, and our girls use it for everything.
So we've got a question there of, can you guys briefly give us guidance on how to create PowerPoint presentations on Copilot? So look, in terms of if you're working through PowerPoint and you actually have your design ideas open, I mean...
So there's a couple of ways. So Curioid actually creates direct PowerPoints. It creates a slideshow, which is all free. Also, I have seen the prompt. I have to admit, I've never tried it, to run the prompt in ChatGPT to create a PowerPoint, because for me, and I teach CAT, Computer Applications Technology, I rather get Copilot, Chat GPT to create a content for a specific slide. Then I create the image that I want to go with it. I don't want a blanket whole slide of 30. I do have Curoid works wonderfully. I did a systems technology one. It's called CuriPod. And if you show my screen, Craig, it is free. I very rarely pay for anything that until I'm really sure. So this is one, I just tried it on systems technology. I put in a prompt. It even added polls, and you can present from in here. It added polls plus the information. It obviously didn't put pictures. I have to admit, I've not tried. I've seen it on quite a few occasions. There is a very fancy prompt that you can put in, and then that prompt you almost run as a macro embedded coding in your PowerPoint, and it brings the slides in. It is 1 minute past 8. I'm so sorry we talked so fast.
Yeah, we did.
We're going to get in as much as we could.
If you guys have any questions and you want to stay on and just ask a couple, we're happy to do that as well.
If you want to chat, catch up on LinkedIn or on X Twitter, please connect with us on LinkedIn. You could find both of us under our names, or Carl is the Traindoid at
or the Librasaur, yeah.
Or the Librasaur, and I'm just Lyneth Crighton, too complicated to be anything else. And you can find us, connect with us, let us know. We hope that you come back. Please let us know if there's things you liked, if we could explain some more. We hope, and we also in May are going to be running ones to help people to be Microsoft Innovative Educators, and apply for that in May and June. So yes, the mics are enabled, so you should be able to unmute if you want to say something. And
my first Pico is weird. Trying again. Nice.
So yeah, we'd love to know what you find, what you got.
Just a couple of I saw one or two questions there with regards to AI policies. Look, there are lots of varied opinions out there. Ours is actually more employment of the tools necessarily than banning of the tools. I think it's about teaching them how to use it responsibly. It falls in line with our ethos, rather than necessarily banning it all right, because they're all out together, because they're going to be using it anyway. When it comes to plagiarism, it's no longer really considered plagiarizing. It's now considered commissioning of work, because it's a joint process. There's a lot of processes. One of our processes is that we actually interview the students afterwards and probe them with questions and kind of see what was the involvement in the process and how, because there's obviously lots of work that goes into the actual prompting of AI. And that's where the learning curve necessarily is going to happen. But no, there is no legitimate piece of software that can detect whether it is fully plagiarized, fully copied by AI or not. We've had essays written under controlled conditions. We've sent them into the plagiarism checker, so to speak, and they have come out as 80% AI.
Only 87% human, according to the AI.
AI 87% human. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. There isn't necessarily a tool out there, and I think that this is really what we need to get our heads around, is that the landscape of education has changed substantially, and if we're not leveraging these tools correctly in our classrooms, then we're doing them a disservice, because at the end of the day, our children are going into a world where this is part and parcel of everything that they exist with, and they're going to be using it in far more wild and crazy ways than we are ever able to.
But if you are looking for something on the policy line, UCT, University of Cape Town, have on their website extensive for lectures, for students, for master's students, AI and what they accept and don't, and guidelines. And UJ also have extensive that they've already put out there. And that's wonderful for 2 leading South African universities. On the page, also, if you'd like to connect, please join learningcurve.net, because we'd love to get the conversation going. Share your images that you've created tonight. Tell us what you would like more of, and we're happy to do it. There's still no more questions. Just thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, everybody. It's been so much fun.
We're really glad that you took this time. And we have to say thank you
to our wonderful green team at the back here.
You've helped change this, change that, batteries ran out, change screens. So
they're probably going to hate me as well.
He's going to switch the camera off around. Craig's going to quickly make it in vMix. Just zoom out. Zoom out.
It's our screen. How comfortable we can see where you were.
And the chats, and then all the way back in the library.
Yeah.
Oh, look. This is McDonald's.
Circle. There we go.
Lorata says hi, Bronwyn.
So thank you. We really do love our library space. It is really, really great. It's something that we really enjoy, and I count myself incredibly lucky to be able to be in this space every single day. So there we go. It's a quick,
yes, so we will share the video. If you go to Learning Curve, Learning Curve IT, I will load the video onto all the things that go with it, and the links on YouTube, and then I will post it on the website so you can share. Please encourage other people to join, and hi to my Power Rangers online.
Hello to all our friends out there. It's been really wonderful seeing your names pop up, and thank you guys. It's been a really great evening. Cheers. I got one step left. We're good to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.